It is the start to the second to last show of the Court Report during the 2013-14 basketball season right here on MaxPreps. Thanks for joining us. I am Chris Stonebreaker and she is Megan Pichet.
Thanks, Chris. The second to last show, it's a little bittersweet.
I know.
You know, spring is coming, everything's in full bloom, the sun's out, but it also marks the end of the winter season, which has been so exciting so far.
And now, Megan, as usual, I want to know from you who has started and who has finished postseason play.
You got it. Well, we have a brand new map for our viewers. By the end of this week, almost every state in the U.S. will have finished postseason play and have their state champions crowned. California and Indiana are in blue, which means they are the only two states that will be finishing up next week. The rest of the states on the map there have already crowned their state champions or will have done so by the end of this week. In that group of red-orange is the state of Oregon, where Jefferson High School of Portland won the 5A state title despite suiting up just 6 players. Due to suspensions, the Democrats had only 6 eligible players Saturday night, but that proved to be just enough as Jefferson topped Churchill of Eugene 69-64 in the 5A championship game. Gonzaga-bound senior Silas Melson was in uniform and responded with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists while playing in every minute of the game. Jefferson finishes at 26-1, having won 5 of the last 7 5A state crowns.
And I want to help you and continue on with the state champion news. Callaway High of Jackson, Mississippi won its 3rd straight Mississippi Class 5A state title, beating Vicksburg 49-33 behind the nation's top junior, according to 24/7 Sports, Malik Newman, who scored 25, going 7 of 14 from the field and 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Taking a look at the Excellent 25 rankings presented by the Army National Guard, and we see that Callaway is ranked number 22 in the country after going 31-1 and finishing the season on a 22-game winning streak. Bishop O'Dowd, led by another top junior, Ivan Rabb, is a recent addition to the Excellent 25 with their 21-game winning streak.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring in the man responsible for the Excellent 25 rankings. That is our national basketball editor, Jason Hickman. He is joining us via Skype today. There you are, Jason. How are you?
Doing wonderful. So glad to be here once again. Sorry that our time is winding down this season, but anxious to put in a good effort today.
Okay, Jason, if I had a phone a friend option here on the show or just in life, I would have you be that person I would call. And let's show them right now why in 3 in the Key with Jason Hickman. And we call it 3 in the Key because we get to ask you 3 questions that really make you think, or since you already know everything about high school sports, they probably don't make you think that hard, but we like to think they do. And to start off with question number 1, in your opinion, what is the best remaining state playoff matchup?
Well, the options are dwindling a little bit, Chris. As you know, we've only got about 12 states still in state playoff action. But let's go out to Illinois, the Class 4A state playoffs there this Friday night, state semifinals. National number 13, Whitney Young from Chicago, will be taking on number 18, Stevenson from Lincolnshire. Whitney Young comes in at 27-5. Stevenson comes in at 31-1. The Dolphins from Whitney Young are the little bit more nationally known quantity or entity, I should say, in this matchup. But Stevenson reached the 4A state title game a year ago, played Simeon and Jabari Parker very tough before falling. What a thrill for fans in Illinois who have been treated to really a series of big-time, high-profile showdowns, and this one fits that bill as well. The winner will be the heavy favorite to go on and win the 4A state title.
Those are some big-time matchups, and now I want to know, as a spectator, what are some of the big-time venues? So what, in your opinion, Jason, is the best state championship venue?
I love this question, Megan. There's a lot of good ones out there. I'm envious of the kids in Indiana who get to play their state championship game at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, home of the Pacers. The Frank Irwin Center in Austin, Texas is another good one, home of the Texas Longhorns. But if I had to choose one to play a state championship game in. I'll go out to North Carolina in the Dean E. Smith Center in Chapel Hill, home of the North Carolina Tar Heels. You step onto that floor, see the Carolina blue, and you know that you're in for a special game, a special treat, having the opportunity to look up in the rafters at those retired jerseys, including that of the legendary Michael Jordan. I can't think of a better place to play a state championship game than the Dean Dome.
The Dean Dome, that would be impressive to be able to walk in there. A little probably more impressive than the Sweet Train Arena, I'd say. But question number 3, and it is, who has had the best individual state championship game performance thus far?
Well, let's go out to Minnesota for this one. I know Xavier Musketeer fans are disappointed with their NCAA tournament loss last night to North Carolina State, but they have a lot to look forward to in a young man by the name of J.P. Macura, who over the weekend piled up 43 points in the Class 4A state championship game, an 84-82 win over perennial powerhouse Hopkins. Macura is part of the top 247 class of 2014 rankings and one of the lethal shooters in the senior class nationally. 24 points in the second half, coming through when his team needed him the most in the state championship game. The ironic thing about that, Hopkins knew all about this guy. He had 48 points when the two teams met back in December.
Always the best info with Jason.
Always.
Jason, we love hearing from you, and we also know that you love to hear from our viewers of the show. If they want to ask you some questions, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Jason_Hickman. Would love to hear from our fans and engage in some banter.
For sure, and thank you again for all those little nuggets, Jason. I will be sure to be using them the next time at a little quizzing, a little Thursday night open quiz or something. Anyways, thank you very much, Jason. Now, 24/7 Sports has our featured athlete of the week this week in the Get to the Game, inspired by American Family Insurance, as the number 10 ranked player in the class of 2014. So we would like to right now bring you this feature featuring St. Joseph's Carl Towns.
Get to the Game, inspired by American Family Insurance. Carl Towns, a 6'11" center from Metuchen, New Jersey, is inspired to dream big on and off the court.
My dreams? Just to be the greatest who played the sport. I mean, every basketball player says that.
One of his biggest dreams outside of basketball is becoming a kinesiologist. He doesn't have to be a basketball player. Once you're happy at what you do, it's just fulfilling.
Carl's real goal is to take what he earns and build a hospital in the Dominican Republic out of respect for his mother. I portray Carl's dream by making sure that he understands that he has the support and love of two parents who will be there for him 24 hours a day.
Carl and his father, who is also a basketball coach, have worked tirelessly to develop his game and his work ethic.
My dad really always stressed to not only be a center, but be a guard and a center. Always having that challenge makes me want to work harder and, makes the game more fun.
He actually led our team in 3 points. It's easy for someone to be as good as Carl to just sort of say, hey, you know what, I'm good. Everything's going to be fine, but people would be shocked at how much time he actually puts into it.
Unstoppable, 24 hours a day. It's continuous. Carl works on his game and his body all the time. Then at the same time, he's studying, staying on top of his grades.
Carl takes special pride in his academics, and his hard work has paid dividends.
Carl's a true student athlete. His freshman year, he was class president. He's got a 4.3 GPA, taking accelerated classes.
He's very mature for his age. He likes to read and absorb and learn.
Whereas education is success. So education is our priority because you'll always have education to fall back on.
People forget that this is a game. I'm not an athlete, I'm a student athlete. And I'm more proud of the person I am today than the player.
To watch more inspiring stories about these incredible athletes and their dreams, visit amfam.com/gettothegame.
Now, Carl Towns reclassified to the class of 2014, and he will be graduating high school in 3 years. Very impressive student athlete. Another impressive student athlete that we've been featuring right now on MaxPreps.com is one that goes by the name of Malik Monk. The Bentonville sophomore has been featured in our Beyond the X feature, and right now we want to bring to you our featurette that Scott Hargrove, a producer here at MaxPreps, created.
I think his best traits as a player is just that his overall game. Obviously, he thinks score first, and he's a scorer. I think that's what he will be his whole life. The fact that he can shoot the ball so well with his amazing athleticism, I think, is what separates him from other high school kids. You know, we've had a lot of colleges come in here, and they've compared him to Ray Allen and different players like that, and I think those are attributes that everyone wants to be able to do as an offensive player. And then he just continues to focus and grow as a defensive player and a rebounder. So I see a high ceiling there too. Well, the in-game play that he has done that's been just so amazing this year is the back-to-back game winners against two conference opponents. And so those were the two that were just amazing that he did back-to-back games. The first one surprised me, and then of course by that time we were so used to it in practice, and then in the game we knew that he had that clutch ability to make a shot when no one else could. As a teammate are his genuine care for the guys, and really he was probably the best guy on our team at recognizing a good play by someone else. You know, we charted over a 3 or 4 game span, and he was giving out 30 or 40 high fives in a game. But when he's out of the game, he celebrates his teammates as much as anything. And so I think as many shots as he takes and as many plays, as much as he has the ball in his hand, his teammates respect him because they know he cares about them too.
The goals of Bentonville really just to win state and become conference champs one of these next 2 years. And my goals of basketball are just to make it to the NBA.
You know, I think there is a lot of pressure that's put upon a player, any player of Malik's magnitude, and it's something that, just like everything in life, the best things about us are a blessing or a curse. And we try to use it as a blessing to him and to coach and to teach him how to do those things. And I think he's so grounded, and he's got such a great family. And he loves his brother and his mother, and listens to them, and they want him to stay grounded. And I think he's been able to do that. But that's always going to be a challenge for any player like him.
Now those are some highlights. What a clutch player.
Oh man, I wish I had that vert. 42 inches standing or something like that. I mean.
All right, now let's get to some more highlights on the show and get into this week's top plays. You know they're going to be good this week because we are in the postseason. In our first play, we're going to build up the suspense. In white, you have Tuscarawas, who took a 43-42 lead with 2.2 seconds left on a circus shot by Michael Teeter in the Division IV District semifinal game in Ohio. Highland now has a sliver of an opportunity to make a play starting at the other end of the court. An inbound attempt is made, and Tuscarawas deflects the ball, now giving Highland only 1.2 seconds to perform a miracle of a play. On the second inbound attempt, Brennan Coyle fires a 3-quarter pass to Todd Ropp, who turns and fires an 18-footer. That goes in. So many hands, great execution, and of course the wild celebration. Thanks to HolmesCountyTicket.com for the footage.
Now, play number 2, the score was tied 47-47 with 0.8 seconds left. and Sacred Heart Academy. Inbounds from mid-court against Fulton Middleton in the Michigan Class D Finals. Here is the call and video from my 104.3 WCZY and 10 to 9 News.
I cannot believe it, but the Irish have backboard way out to the arc denier. He shoots it, and he scores! Off the glass, off the rim, he scores, and the Irish win! It's the most unbelievable shot I have ever seen in a high school game.
Those jaw-dropping buzzer beaters aren't just for the boys. In play number 3, 5'8" junior Alex Putman of Bishop McGuinness in North Carolina hustled after a missed free throw with close to 5 seconds left in the game. She zigzagged her way up the court unguarded and let loose a half-court shot that just beats the buzzer. This was the 9th state title in a row for Bishop McGuinness. The team finished 28-4 and is ranked 8th in the state. Thanks to @BMHS Villains for the clip.
With 2 seconds remaining and the score knotted 46-46 between Hopkins and Shakopee in the Minnesota Class 4A state semifinal game played at the Target Center. Hopkins sophomore Amir Coffey took the inbounds pass from under his own hoop, and with the defender in pursuit, he dribbled twice and well beyond half court, heaved a desperation attempt that, if unsuccessful, would have sent the game into a 5th overtime. But as you can see from the crowd response, it was successful and the Royals won 49-46.
Now we've seen a good amount of buzzer beaters and half-court shots, but none quite like this. In a junior varsity basketball game, the Nazareth point guard Zach Wegfurt heaved up a prayer from just beyond the half court at the end of the first quarter of the Blue Eagles game at Allentown Central Catholic in Pennsylvania. The shot bounced off the top of the backboard. Everyone waited in suspense as the ball was in the air, and it swooshed right through the net. Here it is again.
And now that's impressive. And if Lee's Summit West senior Monty Harrison accomplishments on the football field and baseball diamond don't impress you enough, take a look at what he can do during the girls' halftime before a game in which he scored 23 for the Titans basketball team. Let us know of some other players we can consider for the 2013-2014 MaxPreps National Athlete of the Year by tweeting @MaxPreps. And maybe one of those athletes that you tell us about will join a list of athletes that have been the MaxPreps National Athlete of the Year, like Terrell Pryor, Dorial Green Beckham, or last year's winner, Derrick Henry.
Now those are some big names, and another big name is South Carolina's defensive end, Jadeveon Clowney. He is making some big NFL headlines. And you know what we like to do here at MaxPreps when that happens, right, Chris?
That's a Clowney question, bro. But yes, we like to show them in their prep days.
Absolutely. So today we go way back when with Jadeveon Clowney. It has been rumored that the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the 3rd overall NFL draft pick in 2014, will not pass on South Carolina defensive end Jadeveon Clowney if he is still available. The now 6'6", 249-pound football standout started his prep athletic career at South Point High School in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Here he is playing basketball for the Stallions, and even from this far back, you can just see his size and athleticism. Grabbing rebounds, posting up, getting the putback. In his senior season playing football, Clowney tallied 162 tackles, 29.5 sacks, 29 tackles for loss, 11 forced fumbles, and 6 fumble recoveries. He also scored 5 touchdowns on defense while leading his team to a 13-2 record. Clowney was named South Carolina's 2010 Mr. Football. South Point's football team was 38-6 during his 3 varsity seasons.
The big lefty would look at all that arc from the free throw line. Nice touch and everything. I sure wouldn't want to get those mitts caught on me if he was chasing me down.
He is a big basketball player.
Big basketball player, to say the least. And that closes out the show that we like to call the Court Report. Again, this is our second to last one of the season, and I want to give a thanks to Jason Hickman, as usual, joining us via Skype with all the knowledge one needs to have about high school basketball. And for Megan Pichet, myself, Chris Stonebreaker, keep on clicking on to MaxPreps.com, America's source for high school sports.